All right, guys, in today's episode, I'm going to tell you which 5 amplifiers that I'm never, ever going to sell. Let's get started. Well, I hope you guys are all doing well today, and I have conversations like this with my buddies all the time. You know, me and my friend Jay or Chris or, some of my other friends will talk about, like, which amps are keepers forever? Like, which ones would we never sell? And I figured I'd do an episode about it. I mean, why not? Now, these are 5 amps that I'm never going to sell unless I end up on dire straits, which hopefully never happens to me or you, but... So for the most part, these could pretty much be welded to my racks here. Now, regarding the ones that didn't make this list, it doesn't mean that I'm going to sell them or I would ever consider selling them. But you have your guarantees, right? You have your amps that are like, oh no, you'll have to pull this thing out of my cold, dead hands, So I figured I'd come up with 5. Everything's 5s these days. Top 5 this, top 5 that. So I figured I would just do 5. So basically every amplifier that did not make the top 5 list is still considered amazing in my book. It's just, I had to pick 5. It's just the way it is, right? So let's get started with the first one, and these are in no particular order, by the way. The first one is the EVH Stealth. I mean, seriously, why would I freaking sell this amplifier? So what I'm going to do is go through all 3 channels on this amplifier and just play a couple riffs on it and then move on to the next one. This isn't going to be an in-depth video or anything like that. Just going to let you hear them the way I have them set up and play a couple riffs. Maybe I'll do a mix, maybe not, I don't know. I'm just going to kind of wing this episode here. So let's get started with the clean channel on the EVH Stealth now. Very nice clean channel, very likable. Is it the best clean channel that I have? No, but it's definitely a very good one. And as you may or may not know, if you crank the gain all the way up on the clean channel, it turns into an amazing 80s rock amp. I mean, it's got that classic 80s tone, like what you would hear on some of Van Halen's older stuff, So let's go ahead and hear how that sounds now. Freaking killer sounding classic rock channel. So the versatility on this channel is amazing. It really is. So now let's switch over to the blue channel, which is a lot more aggressive, a lot more modern voiced, and tons more gain and all the stuff we love about modern metal tones. So let's see what that sounds like. Oh my God, does that channel sound amazing. It's a great rhythm, and it's got enough gain for leads too, so you could probably do leads with it. By the way, I'm pushing this amplifier with, what am I using today? Oh, the Mud Killer. I'm back to the Mud Killer again. So I'm using the Mud Killer. I'm not going to show you with and without the overdrive and all that crap because I'm trying to make this a quick video. You guys know I love pushing my amps, and I will not play an amp without an overdrive. So it is what it is. So anyways, that's the blue channel. So now let's switch over to the red channel. I mean, it doesn't get any nastier than that. Now, I know I've done the video with the Easter eggs on this amplifier before. We talked about that, and if you're curious about that, watch my video about the Easter eggs. But, you know, with this channel, it's extremely versatile because the thing that I really like about it is, let's say you have an overdrive pedal that's not gelling with it. You know, let's say you got one overdrive and you switch to the red channel and you're like, it's just, you know, I want to use an overdrive, but it's just too raspy or whatever with it. And I'm just trying to figure out how I can make this work. Well, because of the Easter egg in this particular channel, you can adjust this channel to fit pretty much any boost pedal, or if you prefer not to use a boost pedal, turn your boost pedal off and you can make it work that way as well. And basically all you do is just take the gain on the blue channel while you're on the red channel and just turn the knob until you get the sweet spot that you like. You know, so if you want the red channel to be a little rounder, like right now, it's a little raspy with the overdrive. So I had the gain at noon, so let me turn it down to, let's just start at 9 o'clock and see if we can make it sound a little less raspy. There you go, less raspy, rounded it out just right. So I'll just go over this real quick. Let me turn off the mud killer. And I have no boost on, so let me adjust the blue channel gain while I'm on the red channel and show you how it tightens up real quick. So if you want to forego the overdrive pedal and use just the amplifier, just crank the gain all the way up on the blue channel while you're on the red channel, and it tightens right up and gets really freaking gnarly. Now, to show you how gnarly it gets, let me engage the boost, and you'll hear it's just, it's way out of control. It just sounds like it just snorted a whole line of Coke, and you punched it in the nuts. So let's turn on the boost pedal. While it's set up this way, again, the gain is cranked on the blue channel. I have it at noon on the red channel. So let's adjust the gain on the blue channel back down so that it sounds normal. There you go. So when you saw me lean forward, I just turned the tone knob to like 1 o'clock. I had it at 3 o'clock on the mud killer. That tends to help out a little bit too. Sometimes I'll crank the tone knob on my overdrive pedals depending on which amp I'm playing through, and it adds a little extra bite to the amplifier, but in the case of the red channel, it's got plenty of bite all on its own, so you don't need to add any more, otherwise it can get out of control. But yeah, so if you want to boost the red channel of the Stealth, which I do, and just turn your gain to like 9 o'clock on the red or on the blue channel while you're in the red channel, and it just rounds it out and makes it sound less raspy, less harsh, and more under control. And then adjust the gain on the red channel accordingly, and you should be fine. You know, because the thing is, some people say, oh, the red channel's overgained. Well, it's because you don't know what you're doing with it. You don't know how to set it up properly. And Eddie put that Easter egg in there for us to use, because you can really fine-tune everything about that channel and sculpt the gain however you want it. And the way Eddie used it was he would crank the gain on the blue channel while using the red channel, and he didn't need an overdrive. You know, that was his overdrive. So that's really the secret with that amplifier. So if you are struggling with that red channel, that's how you fix it. And honestly, I used to struggle with it too when I first bought this amplifier. I'm like, man, when I boost the blue channel, you know, and set the gain at a pretty high level on the blue channel, it sounds great. But when I switch over to the red channel, I'm like, God, it's just really nuts now. Well, now that I've learned that, I just prefer the red channel most of the time when I play it live, and I just sculpt the gain perfectly on it and boost it, and I'm good. So this way you have the best of both worlds. If you want to boost it, go ahead, adjust everything to taste and go for it. If you want to forego the boost, well, you can easily do that as well. I love how people say, oh, you don't have to boost the red channel, but they leave out all that context. I'm putting the context in there so that you understand what I'm talking about. All right, let's move on to the next amplifier. All right, the next amplifier I'm most likely never going to sell is the Rev Generator 120 Mark III. I freaking love this amplifier. Lots of great features. I'm not going to go through all the features and all the channels on this amplifier. I'm going to go over my two favorite channels, which is the purple and red channels. The green channel is also a really nice classic rock channel, and it's got a decent clean channel on it as well, but to save time, I'm just going to go over purple and red today. Now, the things I love about this amplifier is, you guys know I love features, so because I actually use them. Not everybody needs those features, but I'm one of those, you know, guys, I think down the road, like, you know, as I develop as a musician, and depending on what I'm going to do with this amplifier, I need some flexibility, you know, to handle that, and I can grow into this amplifier. So this amplifier is one of those ones that you can definitely grow into, not out of. So you have the 2 notes torpedo stuff inside, so you can run it direct into front of house if you want. That stuff sounds amazing. You can even load in your own impulse responses. I think the one that it comes with, you know, at least one of them that I use, it's on, I think it's the first one or whatever one it is. I really, yeah, #1 on Virtual Cab. Sounds great. There's no reason for me to change anything, so I just use that. But for today, I'm going to be using it through the Mesa cab. You know what? I should probably put that picture up. Boom. So I'm running everything through my Mesa Dual, or you know, 212 with vintage 30s today. But let's go ahead and play some riffs on the purple channel. Oh my God, that amp is so fat and nasty. I mean, I have the gain at like 1 o'clock. Maybe I should bring that down a little bit. So I'll put it at top dead center and see what it sounds like. That sounded a little gainy, but you know me, I love freaking gain. So let's see what it sounds like with that. Yeah, that sounded a little better for rhythms, but somebody must have messed with my knobs. Who messing with my knobs? Gonna slap somebody. Anyways, yeah, I mean, the purple channel is ridiculous. One of the things I like about this amplifier, besides the features, is the way it feels. It's got this really nice, perfect amount of sag and chewiness to it, and I just feel really confident every time I play this amplifier. I feel like I can do no wrong. You know how it feels like when you're playing an amp that just feels so good and it responds well, and under your fingers, everything just feels perfect. And it's just, I don't know, it's like driving a car with a really tight suspension. You know you can make that corner, you know, and that's how this amp is. It handles like it's on rails. I mean, it's just super tight, percussive, fat, and I just freaking love it. I always feel like I could do no wrong when I'm playing through this. Also has MIDI, so I can switch channels on this amplifier via MIDI. It's on the purple channel. Now it's on the red channel. Really nice to use. So if I want to play leads, I can do that, and I don't have to, you know, get the foot switch out and deal with all that. I do it all via MIDI, and it's amazing. Even the features on the amplifier, like the aggression and other things, will turn on and off, you know, via MIDI as well. So let's go ahead and do a quick little lead thingy on it, and I'll move on to the next amp. Yeah, sounds freaking amazing, right? I mean, the purple channel is an awesome rhythm channel, and the red channel is an awesome lead channel. Now, the thing is both channels have enough gain and enough flexibility where you can flip-flop them. You know, you could use the red channel for rhythms and the purple for leads if you want, whatever you want. I just have it set up this way because, I don't know, it's just the way I like it, but I could go either way on this amplifier, red or purple for either leads or rhythm, it doesn't matter. And it's just a really good flexible amplifier. Again, the, what is it, the green channel is an awesome classic rock channel, and it's got a decent clean channel as well, you know, on the blue channel. So, you know, and if you like an amplifier that you can just bring to a gig without using a cab and you just want to run it front of house, you can do that, and it sounds incredible. So it's got a good effects loop on it as well. So I just can't say enough good things about this amplifier. The thing is, what Rev did is they're doing what a lot of other companies should be doing with their amplifiers, is they're realizing that tech's changing, things are changing. There's a lot of digital platforms and stuff like that out there, and they're making their amplifiers compete with all of that kind of stuff so that, you know, people don't have to say, well, you know, I want the features of a digital platform. Well, you have that in the Rev. I mean, you have the, you know, the two-note stuff in there, you know, so you can use digital stuff in the amplifier that it comes with, and you don't have to lug a cab around anymore. So you just bring your amp to a show, run front of house, and you're done. So yeah, I just really think that they integrated the two forms of tech together very well, and they're hand built in Canada, and they do an excellent job on these amplifiers, and I think they're voiced very well. And the you know, the thing is sometimes you could play an amplifier and it sounds great, but it feels terrible, you know, or vice versa. With this amplifier, it sounds amazing, and the feel is right on par with the way it sounds as well. I mean, I love how this amplifier feels. So if you haven't tried one of these, I highly recommend that you do. All right, on to the next amplifier. Now, the next amp I'm most likely never going to sell is the JP Mark II C+. John Petrucci is one of my favorite guitar players, and boy, did he help design an amazing amplifier. I love this freaking amp, and in my opinion, this is the best amplifier that Mesa Boogie has ever built. It's got a lot of great features in it. It has the cab clone, it has MIDI, it has the shred switch, which, you know, if you want to really tighten it up for lower tunings, it'll tighten up really well for that. It's got an amazing clean channel, an awesome rhythm and lead channel as well. They're all separate, so you could dial them in any way you want, and then you also have the two different EQs as far as the graphic EQs go that you can assign to any one of these channels. So extremely flexible tone-wise and use-wise. I mean, it's just a really good amplifier. So let's go ahead and start off with the clean channel, and I'm just going to leave my effects on because that's just how I do things. Let's just hear that real quick. Glorious freaking clean channel. Let me turn the bass down a little bit on it. I haven't played this clean channel in a bit here. Let me try that again with a little less bass. There's nothing I would change about that clean channel. It's just beautiful. Really pleasant to listen to, and it just sounds awesome. So let's move on to channel 2, which I use for the crunch rhythm channel, and let's see what that sounds like. Amazing rhythm channel, very focused and tight, and it's got a nice bold sound to it. And if you like the Church's tone, I mean, there it is right there. I mean, it just sounds incredible. Now, one of the things on this amplifier that's kind of cool, let me turn off the mud killer, is if you crank, it's got a tone stack that's, yeah, it kind of acts like an overdrive pedal in some ways. If you crank the treble all the way up, like right now I have it at 1 o'clock because I'd rather use an overdrive pedal, but if you want to forego that, just turn the treble all the way up and it actually tightens the amp up, and for some of you, you wouldn't need an overdrive pedal. So let's see what that sounds like. I got it at 1 o'clock right now. I'll crank it up while I'm playing and show you what it sounds like. Tightened right up. So for a lot of you guys, you know, you won't want to use an overdrive with this amp, you know. So I get it. I really do. I am on the fence on whether or not I would use an overdrive with this amp or not. I'm just used to using my overdrive pedals, so that's kind of what I do, but I get why a lot of people say with the Mark series amplifiers you don't need them. But there's that context thing, that pesky context thing where people leave that out. Yes, you don't have to use one, but crank the freaking treble knob all the way up, and that is what makes that happen. So let's switch over to the lead channel right now, and I'll just do a quick stupid lead riff on it, and you can hear what that sounds like. Great lead channel, and the thing that I love about this amp as well is because of the 2 graphic EQs, is you can dial in your lead channel to sound a little less bright as your rhythm channel. Like with your crunch rhythm channel, you want that nice snap to the top end and that crispy top end that adds that aggression and that cut through a mix. But when you have that same kind of voicing for leads, it could get a little, you know, annoying to the ears. So with these dual EQs, it allows you to dial in the lead channel so it sounds a little smoother, maybe just a hair darker, and then push the mids a little bit. Especially when you're at high volumes, you know, you don't want to be everybody covering their ears when you're doing your solos, you know. You worked hard on those, you want people to hear them, so why not make them sound good as well? So with this amplifier, you can do all that. So yeah, this amp, again, in my opinion, is the best amp that Mesa's ever built. I know they just came out with the Mark 7. I think that's also an amazing amp, but for my style of playing and my taste, I would prefer the JP. Otherwise, you'd see a Mark 7 on my shelf in its place. All right, so let's go to the next amplifier. All right, so the next amp on the list is the REDSEVEN Leviathan. I took a chance and bought this amplifier over a year ago now, and I remember reaching out to Luca and saying, hey, you know, what was your muse for this amplifier? Like, what was like your inspiration for it? And he basically told me that it's loosely based on the Bogner Uberschall, but it's still pretty different. And as you know, I had the Bogner Twin Jet on the channel a while back, and I completely hated that amplifier. And I was like, oh man, I don't know. So after a pretty lengthy conversation with Luca via Facebook Messenger, I decided to take a chance on it because he's like, no, it doesn't sound like that amplifier. It's definitely voiced way different. So I was like, All right, I've heard good things about your stuff, and I like Boutique Amps, and I wanted to support him because he's actually a really cool guy. And so I took a chance on it, and man, this amp just freaking blew me away. Freaking amazing. 2 channels, 2 master volumes, so you can adjust the volumes on, you know, so if you want a rhythm and lead. And on channel 1, well, on both channels you get a bright switch, so, you know, you can use that. And on channel 1 you have a hot mode. So, in fact, let me turn that off right now. So, hot mode's off. I'll play it without the hot mode on real quick, and I'll engage it while I'm playing, and you'll hear what a difference it makes. Killer amplifier. Now, one of the things that always worry me about amplifiers, especially when they have a crunch channel, is it going to have enough gain? Like, I need something that's freaking evil, you know? I don't want some low gain, sissy ass channel to play my rhythms on. I want something that's got enough gain in it. And he's like, yeah, it's definitely going to have enough gain for you, especially if you engage the hot switch. And it sure does. Like, it really freaking does. Now, channel 2 is voiced differently. So it's kind of like you have 2 amps in one. And sometimes I don't like that, though. Sometimes, oh, you got 2 different voices, and, you know, you hate one of the voicings, but you like the other. In this amplifier, I like both voicings in it equally, and I think they both sound amazing. So I feel like I got, you know, 2 amps for the price of 1. So I'll switch over to channel 2 now. And this one is even nastier, and it's voiced a little differently, and I think you could use this for either a lead or a rhythm channel. So let's hear that. Yeah, channel 2 definitely has more edge to it. But again, channel 1's still got plenty of gain and edge to it. I'm going to turn off the overdrive so you can hear how tight channel 2 is. Really tight channel. I just use the boost just to give it that extra little push or feel that I like, but I mean, you just adjust the gain accordingly. Now the bright switch on these channels is pretty subtle, but you could tell the difference in the room or like with in-ears. I don't know if the YouTube compression would cover up that difference or not, but I'll go ahead and engage that for you now. It's off on this channel, so let me turn it on while I'm playing it, see if we notice a difference. Yeah, it's pretty subtle, but in the room and with in-ears, you can tell the difference, you know. But anyways, great amplifier. They're built in Italy, and they're just freaking amazing. You know, they really are. And he's a great guy to do business with, and I like supporting boutique amp builders because they work really hard on what they do, and they're passionate about their craft, and you really do get your money's worth on a lot of these amplifiers. I know some boutique amps are vastly overpriced. That's why you don't see them on my shelves. But amps like this, yeah, they're not priced in the mainstream pricing, you know, category, but they're worth every penny because they sound incredible and they're built like tanks. So I really appreciate the passion, craftsmanship, and everything that Luca puts into his amplifiers, and they sound incredible. So if you haven't considered getting one of these yet, I highly recommend that you do. So if you want my opinion, this amp should probably be on your list as well. It definitely deserves to be there. And while we're on the lead channel, why don't I just do some leads for you on it really quick, just so you can see what it sounds like. Yeah, definitely plenty of gain and flexibility in that amplifier as well. So if you want to do lower gain stuff, you know, classic or, yeah, I don't know, early 2000s, late 80s, whatever kind of rock, metal, whatever, just turn the hot button off on channel 1 and it'll do all that for you. And if you want more gain like me, just freaking turn that hot button on and you got plenty of modern gain for all the crap that I do and all the stuff you probably do as well. And if you just want an absolute fire breather of a channel, I mean, that freaking channel 2 on that amp is stupid. It's really freaking good. And this amplifier also has MIDI, so you can switch channels via MIDI on this amp as well. So now let's do the 5th and final amp in the video. All right, so the 5th and final amplifier, last but not least for sure on this list, is going to be the MEZZABARBA Trinity. Now, these amps are hand-built in Italy. They're built impeccably. All of the components and even the transformers are pretty much, you know, proprietary for MEZZABARBA, and everybody knows that these amps are built very well and they're just filled with the best components you can get. And I tell a lot of guys that are looking for like a higher end amp, like a Soldano or something like that, I always steer them towards the MEZZABARBAs because if you ask me, they're built better, they sound better, and you can get them to sound like a Soldano SLO if you want. But these actually sound more modern if you want them to as well because of the negative feedback knob on the back. So if you want a little more bite with this amplifier, you just turn it up to, you know, 1 o'clock and you got tons of awesome bite and it sounds more modern. Or if you want to go into like the Soldano territory, turn it down a little bit and it gets a little softer on the top end. I prefer it at 1 o'clock because I play modern stuff, so I want modern tones. Because of that, this amplifier suits my taste a lot better. You have 3 usable channels. You have a clean channel that's beautiful. You have a bright switch on it. You can brighten it up a little bit depending on how your pickups and taste are. And then you have channel 2, which has 2 gain modes. You have a lower to mid gain mode, and then if you hit the, you know, the boost button, it boosts you into another gain stage, kind of like what the REDSEVEN does. It's like a hot switch, you know, gives you more gain. And then of course channel 3 is the fire breather and gives you all the gain you need for leads. Now that being said, there's enough gain in channel 2 to use for leads as well. There's plenty of gain in that channel. It's just freaking awesome. This amp is also MIDI, and you can program this amplifier and operate everything via MIDI. And you could get, you know, like what I did, I got the customized interior with the lights. You can customize a couple other options on it as well. I think you can customize the grill. I know you can customize the Tolex as well. So just a really good amplifier. Now, unlike the Soldano, you know, this has 3 usable channels. The Soldano only has 1, and I just think the Soldano's second channel is, you know, that's their money channel. It's good. It's a good channel, but it just doesn't sound modern enough for me. And again, with the negative feedback knob on this one, it gets me in that modern territory. But channel 1 on the Soldano is a worthless piece of shit channel. It's complete just garbage. I would never use it. It's not clean enough to be an amazing clean channel. It's not dirty enough to be a nice high gain channel. It's like this stupid redheaded stepchild channel that I wish they would have updated when they started making the amp again, but they kept that worthless piece of shit channel in that amplifier, which is an absolute shame and pretty much an insult to my existence. I can't stand it, and that's why I won't buy that amplifier, because I'm wasting my money. I'm spending almost, I don't know, whatever, $4 grand or so on an amplifier, and I'm getting 1 channel that doesn't even sound modern. So, stupid, you know? I don't understand why people release amplifiers and they don't change anything. Yeah, you put a new effects loop in it, whatever, who gives a shit? It just doesn't work for me. So if you're gonna spend the same amount of money, get something that actually is worth it. Get an amplifier with 3 usable channels in it, and there's no wasted real estate here at all and no wasted money. This is worth every penny, and again, they're built amazingly. So let's listen to the clean channel real quick, and then I'll go through the other 2. Beautiful clean channel, just freaking awesome, stellar. So now that we've heard that, let's switch over to channel 2. And I have the boost on, which isn't a overdrive boost, it's a gain boost. So that's how I have it set up. So let's just hear what that sounds like. Amazing channel. I like the thick pick attack that this has. It's really thick, and it just, I don't know, it just sounds amazing. So it's got a hint of that classic top end in it, but it still sounds aggressive and amazing. So yeah, this is a really, really well-designed amplifier, and it just sounds incredible. I really like it a lot. And basically, channel 3 is the same as channel 2, except it has more gain, and the mids are pushed a little bit so that it, you know, cuts through a mix for leads and stuff like that. It's more designed for leads, but you can use either channel for rhythm or lead. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just a great freaking amplifier. And those Mezzabarba transformers are freaking sick, man. Oh my God, you can't get them anywhere else. You know, so another reason to buy this amplifier. So again, if you're looking to spend some money and you want a really nice boutique amplifier and you're looking at a Soldano, get one of these, man. They're freaking way better. All right, so I know, trigger alert, right? For all the Soldano fanboys, I don't give a shit because I know I'm right. I've compared them, and this amp kicks the Soldano's ass all freaking day. Let's just hear it in a quick mix, just for funsies, and then we'll call it a day. Well, there you have it. 5 amplifiers that I'm most likely never going to sell. I mean, these amps are freaking great, you know, and I'm going to change camera angles here and there because I spent all this time setting the stupid camera up for a secondary angle and realized that at the end of the video that I never used it. So I'm going to use it now, and you're just going to have to deal with that. Anyway, so yeah, this amp is freaking stupid. It's amazing. I really like this amplifier a lot, and I like all these amps. That's why I have them, you know. But you know, we all have the ones that we'll never part with, and some of you are probably thinking like, oh, why didn't you put the Savage on there? And you know, the Savage is amazing. They're all amazing, but I had to pick 5. And if it really came down to brass tacks, these are the 5 that I would hold on to. I would not sell these unless I absolutely had to. It doesn't mean that I want to sell these other ones, because I don't, but I'm just saying, you know, we all have, you know, our amps and our gear that we're never going to part with, at least for the time being. And this is my list for now. And I just want to see what your list is. I know a lot of you guys that watch the channel, you guys have a lot of amps too, or at least several or whatever. What amps would you never part with? And I think this would be interesting. What amps did you part with that you wish you hadn't? We've all done that too from time to time. So I want to hear your stories about that. So I'm looking forward to that. And I also want to take a second and say a very heartfelt thank you to all the people who have bought the new ToneX Ultimate Brutal Preset Pack Volume 1 from me, and you know, people who've bought the KEMPER profiles lately from me and the Quad Cortex capture packs as well. I really, really appreciate that very much. It doesn't go unnoticed, guys. I mean that a lot. Like every time I get an email from my website saying that somebody purchased something, I am like seriously just elated. You know, it really makes me happy because I've been doing this channel for a while now. And believe it or not, us YouTubers, we don't make a lot of money doing YouTube stuff. We have to find other ways to support our channel. So that's the main way I do it. I appreciate donations and stuff like that as well. But the thing is, when you buy those preset and capture packs from me, from my website, tonewars.com, which there is a link below in the description for that, it does help both of us. Like, it helps me, and it helps you too, because you get something in return other than just content. You know, you get some awesome guitar tones that you can play on whatever digital platform that you have. And I've heard a lot of great feedback from you guys on these, and I very much appreciate that. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I really, really appreciate that very much. Thank you guys so much. And I will be doing a lot more of that stuff in the near future, and I really look forward to doing that for you guys. Well, to all my subscribers and Patreon supporters, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. And if you're new to the channel and you like what I do here, please subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with a new episode. Well, I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys in the future, and I can't wait to share those videos with you, and I will see you on the next one.